Um, Hello and welcome to our channel. I am one of your hosts, Mars, in the flesh now.
I'm one of your hosts, Astro, also in the flesh now.
Yes. And it's really hot outside and inside, and I don't know why I'm dressed like this, but we're gonna move on. Uh, Today
I
we're
have
talking
a shirt on, so I feel like I'm dressed for
for you. I don't know what to say to that. Good for you. Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, nephew. Thank you.
So today we're talking about the Backrooms movie that just released not too long ago. I hope my audios are fine because I am like really far from my mic. Yeah, talking about the Backrooms. What are your initial thoughts before we get into anything?
Well, I know what the backrooms were because I used to watch people play it online a lot, but I
Mhm.
used to watch bits and pieces like clips. Um, and I thought it was funny because the people who played it were funny. So every time that monster came around the corner, they were running, and the way they ran. I remember one person, I think it was the Backrooms game where he was like Cherry or somebody, whatever his name was. He was like, "He got he got got."
I remember that. I've seen that video.
Yeah, it was so
My favorite ones are like the VR ones where like they're like booking it. It's hilarious.
so funny. So when they announced that they were doing this movie, I was like, I wonder what kind of story you're gonna make out of it because, or who are you gonna follow or whatever. Because I'm not very familiar with the Backrooms premise or anything else like that. I just knew it was a video game, and I heard that for this movie they got the guy who did the video game.
It was the guy who. So basically, there is a series of YouTube short films, and the guy made them.
Mhm.
Um, And he's not the one who came up with the idea of the Backrooms. That came about on 4chan through an anonymous 4chan post of like a empty convenience store, and whoever posted that came up with the concept of the Backrooms, and ever since then it's become like a internet like whole thing. There's subreddits. Kane Parsons, the director, made the YouTube series, short series, films, whatever you want to call them, and then now he made the movie.
That's pretty cool.
I know, right?
Mm.
I as soon as I heard they were making, because I remember when the Backrooms first became popular. As soon as I heard they were making a movie, I was like automatically intrigued. And I would say it didn't disappoint. I was very happy watching it. I'm scared because I don't do horror very well, but I
You,
I I enjoyed it.
I was not scared. That's one thing I wasn't. I was a little bit like anxious, but
Very anxious. I feel like anxiety is like one of the things the film conveys the most. Like I was so anxious when first of all, I just want to say that Clark is the whitest black man I've seen in a long time. What the fuck? Why did he go in? First of all, okay, he goes in there and then he just the first time he was like hello. I was like, oh okay, he's dead.
bro,
Because
that's what I said. I looked at my friend. I was like, "Hey, yo, we would not have even stepped in. We would like, no, pack my bags. I'm not dealing
no,
with this." Like,
hey, okay, honestly, I would like if the wall is like not a wall.
I sincerely will not.
Now you see what I would do? I would like put a phone in and like see that what's in there, and then I'd be like, "Oh, cool. So when are we moving?" Because I'm not staying there.
I thought it was very. He really got on my nerves because he was over here saying, "Hello, anyone
So I was like,
there?"
"Anyone there, bro? Why are you announcing yourself? Now they know you're there.
I don't know. It was
And
really
what if they're there to kill you?
right.
That part. And then also, first of all, I don't even think if I was in this movie, I would have found the place because if I'm living in that place, right, and the lights were doing what they were doing, I'm leaving. I don't trust that. I think there's a ghost in the building. Those lights are creepy.
There is a lot to unpack with this movie.
I thought we should talk about like what worked and what didn't. I feel like first of all, for like when the movie started, it's slow, but I liked that it's slow. I feel like I've seen people online talking about how the movie's slow and therefore I don't like it. And we've talked about this in the past before. Like people nowadays, like if it's not like a Marvel movie where everything's jumping at you, they feel like it's bad. And it's like no, the movie is slow on purpose. It's not even that slow in my opinion. Um, it's just there's not a creature jumping in front of you every 5 seconds, and because of that, people feel like it's slow and it doesn't work. And can you like take a minute to like enjoy the movie that's in front of you and just take it in? Because if you do that, it's a really fun movie. And I feel like it's slow, obviously deliberately, and it's building up this tension. It's building up this narrative, right? And I love that. I love it. And the parts that were scary were scary and not just like a. I feel like jump scares are like the most cheapest form of scaring somebody. So if somebody could scare me with not a jump scare, you did a good job. And
Honestly, I would also like remark on. I'm gonna put a remark on people saying it's slow. I think people are no longer used to movies that build up tension or build up a character, because at the end of the day with a movie you really only have like an hour to 2 hours with these characters, so you have to get to know them first. You have to get to know their setting, their scenes. I mean, when you first meet Clark, he's running his furniture store. You meet him in his therapist's office and you realize that he had an ex-wife that left him, and for good reason, because you hear how he talking to his therapist and everything else like that. You realize for good reason that that lady was smart in leaving that man to the side and stuff like that. But you're supposed to get to know these characters so you can decide how you feel about them as the movie goes on. And I think the movie does a really good job of letting me get to know Clark and how much I don't like this man.
he was very unlikable. And I will say the therapy scenes were such an interesting way to get to know a character because, again, before you do anything with these characters, you have to give the audience a reason to care about them. And therapy scene with the therapist and him in the exercise with like the role play exercise was such an interesting way of showing how he was with his wife and showing what kind of person Clark is. I really like that. It was very different. It was very unique. And it's something that like I will keep in mind for like for future projects. It's just really cool. And I like when movies put new spins on things because um like there's no I want to there's like there's no such thing as a purely original thought, right? So different tropes, different like ideas have been done before, but it's how you put your own personal spin on these things that makes something truly unique. And I like that Kane Parsons and whoever else worked on this project on this movie really explored that. I also loved. I feel like I've seen people talk about how the exploration scenes dragged on. If you were watching it like I was watching it, right, when they're exploring, I'm anxious the entire time. The entire time I'm anxious. The room itself
Well,
is
I was gonna say it is the best.
right.
You think he was just gonna pop in and out?
Exactly. Like, he's gonna explore it. Do I think he's dumb for exploring it? Yes, but he's gonna explore it. If you have like any knowledge of the backrooms, I feel like the entire time you're watching in the backrooms, you're also going to be anxious with I guess not with him. I don't know if he was anxious before stuff started happening. But, like you're gonna be anxious because like we know that he's not alone in there. He thinks he's alone in there until he finds out he's not. It's like terrifying, and even the liminal space of the back rooms, that in and of itself is unsettling. Like there's just something about the way that looks, the way the furniture is arranged, and the way things happen in the back rooms. That's just the setting itself is unsettling, and that's intentional. I love it.
Sorry. Yeah, and to add on, like I guess the best way I can say this. I think um I think the fact that I think the fact that he was able to explore the backrooms for as long as he did without running into two big things until he involved the two college kids. First of all, he got two college kids killed. Like he did. He got two college
Yeah.
kids killed. I thought that was kind of wild of him because he was so obsessed with these backrooms. And I just thought that the fact that he went back multiple times was very interesting. And then he showed his therapist the map that he drew and stuff like that. But aren't the backrooms like changing like all the time?
I don't know if the layout is constantly changing. I know the rooms themselves constantly changing. He acknowledged that he's like, I went in there and the furniture is always being rearranged. Things are always changing. But he also, I feel like this is why it was really cool in the opening in like the early scenes. They established Kark as someone who wants to be an architect, so it makes sense that he's able to make this map. And it might not even be like the most like up to date valid map because the rooms are constantly changing, but it's still a feat in and of itself, and it can be useful.
Especially because he kept grabbing things from there, and I think they just kept replicating back in the room anyway. So he had multiple of those thingies that whole coats. He had multiple stop signs, things like that. But he kept grabbing them and bringing them back with him, and then he comes in, and they just show up again.
Yeah,
So
because the room, like the way it's explained, is like the room operates on memory, right? So it remembers things that are brought in there, it remembers things that are like it just remembers, and also I like the idea like the more it remembers, the more it forgets. So it doesn't always it gets things wrong and wrong the deeper you go into the back rooms. And there was the scene with the house where it goes like further and further into the back rooms. You can see how the further you go into the back rooms, the less accurate the house is. I like that a lot. But he
Yeah.
totally got those college students killed. I was like, what the fuck? Like, first of all, I remember when the guy went down there with the rope, and I was like, and he came back up, right? And I was like, y'all better untie that rope faster. Y'all taking too long. He's like, I can't get. It's a rope.
That kind of made me mad. I
Untie
was like,
it.
get something to cut it. Do something. You about to
I
get
was like,
mind you. They pulled him up, so I thought he was safe. I should know this by with horror movies by now because I am a big fan of the horror genre. For those who do not know, I love horror movies. So by now I should know the tropes of which they do. I should know this, but I knew that kid was dead. Like I was like, I don't know
yeah.
how you gonna die, but I know you're dead. Like I know you and your girlfriend dead.
I didn't. I knew when he went down there. I knew he was probably dead. I didn't think she was gonna die, but I was like, why wouldn't he break something to cut it? Even if you don't know that something's in there, there's something could be in there. So if I was going in there, I'm having like some kind of like pocket knife or something, and I could use it to cut the rope. But like, oh, that pissed me off so bad. That pissed me off. And then he got.
Yeah, I think the most crazy thing, not crazy thing. I think one of the things that the movie actually did not do that well was showing me that what time period that they're in because they're actually in the 90s.
Yeah, I picked up on it because of the TV of
Me too.
the way the
That,
commercials
that,
are. But
yeah,
also, I like that they didn't like shove it in your face. Like this is the '90s. Like it's pretty easily inferred. So
yeah.
like,
I guess, but you can only infer it if you've seen the camera and the TV. Quite frankly, nothing else felt like the 90s to me.
I mean,
It
even the
just
cars aren't modern cars.
Yeah, they aren't, but like it still didn't. I don't know why it just didn't feel like the 90s to me. Like even when you're looking at his store, it looked way too modern. It looked like kind of like you know how all the fast food restaurants are changing into this like very dull landscape now. Like McDonald's is not no longer red and colorful. That's kind of what that looked like because the 90s was very colorful, at least from. I was not born in the 90s, but at least from movies perspective and stuff like that. The only way I got that it was the 90s was the fact that his TV, the camcorder, and even the cars, but the fashion was not 90s at all, and the feel just wasn't a 90s. It felt like more so early 2000s, maybe early no late 2000s, early 2010s. That's kind of what it felt like, but I inferred that it was the 90s. I just didn't really put it together until my friend said, "Yeah, it took place in the 90s." I was like, "Oh, that's what I do." So
I got that pretty early.
I
I
thought
knew
it
it
was
was the
broke.
'90s. As soon as I saw the commercial, I was like, okay, it's the '90s. Um, because the way the audio in the commercial sounds, the commercial itself, even
Yeah,
the way the store outside looks, it all
this
looks like it's old.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is probably old. I don't know where old, but this is probably old. And yeah. But yeah, I don't think the movie did a really good job of telling me that's of like really putting it in my normally I could tell by the fashion and everything else, but I'm like I could place this early 2000s at most, not 90s. That's not what I felt like.
Like, I mean, '90s fashion, like it didn't change overnight. 1999, 2000, practically the same fashion sense, right? I feel like we have an idea in our head of what the '90s were as a '90s aesthetic, but
I think what
I
also
think I think it was fine, honestly. I don't have a problem with what they show with '90s. Like a lot of films when they're set in a time place, they shove it in your face. It was really also like the time period wasn't really integral to the plot, so I understand why you wouldn't spend that much time shoving it in the audience's face. This is the '90s when the time period isn't that important.
it's
Aside from
really
the
I just don't feel like that he did a good job of showing that. I think that also what contributed to that for me was the fact that the 90s fashion is just coming back around again. Like everything does, it normally gets a resurgence. So people from the 90s, like always, just look like people I see nowadays. So like just generally the same thing. But yeah, it does take place in the 90s, and I think one of the things that is so funny about the movie is how cheap his furniture. Because he sat on a chair and it broke. I was like, oh yo, you gonna keep that in or not? Like,
I mean, like his store is empty for a reason.
yeah, I was just like, there is no not even a soul, and on his thing was rip off and stuff like that. I'm just like, so you in a dying furniture store? How are you making your money?
Literally. I mean, it shows like he's like not making money. Like his bills are piling up, and the fact that Clark, his whole thing with his wife, who's bringing in the money? None of y'all bringing in money. Your store is unsuccessful. You can't blame your wife that you're not achieving your dreams when you're the one who's also failing, and she's trying to go to school so that she can make some kind of money because you're obviously not.
I think that's why she went to school in the first place because she's like, this is not sustainable for us. You're not bringing any revenue. I'm going to school to be a lawyer. Being a lawyer costs a lot of money and stuff like that. Obviously, when she gets her lawyer job, she's gonna make more than him and stuff. That's probably gonna be an added layer. To me, Clark just felt like a very, I don't want to say insecure man, but that's kind of what I felt like when I was watching him. He felt like very insecure, very much so prone to outbursts, and also we known from his backstory that he was an alcoholic. Clearly an alcoholic. He didn't say that he was an alcoholic. He just said, "Oh, I drank a few beers." But that was very much so inferred. So I think he had these random outbursts of anger and stuff like that. And even when his therapist was basically screaming at him because he kidnapped her and tied her up in the back rooms. Wait, let's just talk about like the back rooms, like and how Clark kind of become assimilated to them almost like
Okay, so
work stuff.
when everything kind of goes wrong, Rob gets, I think his name is Robert, yeah, he gets attacked. Two of them book it respectfully, so I would book it too. Oh, before we get into that, I also do love how it was when it was shot through that camera, because it feels very much like how the YouTube videos feel, and it also makes me feel even more anxious. Even in the beginning with the agent who was like exploring the back room and got separated, it was like shot through like almost like a body cam. I loved it. Um, but yeah, when everything kind of goes wrong and they get trapped in the back rooms, right? That scene where they're running from the entity in the back rooms was really good. I liked it. And then what gave me like peak anxiety was when you could hear the girl's voice behind the wall, and then Clark is trying to figure out like where she is, and then he puts the camera down, and then the entity thing picks it up.
Yeah,
That was terrifying. I was like, "Who's moving the camera?"
and she was like, "Behind you,
I was like, "Oh, I thought
girl."
he died. I thought he was gonna be dead."
He died too, but then he became its what? Like I
So, but from what I understand, the entity thing is a misremembered version of Clark, and he's able to, like, I guess he didn't die because he's able to like communicate with it somehow, and I guess it kind of makes sense because they are kind of the same person, just a misremembered version of him. So it makes sense that, well, he doesn't stay from it forever, but he's able to like kind of just stay in there. He stays in there willingly. He doesn't want to leave because he's able. He strikes me as a person who is like obsessed with control. Right, he's able to have full control over everything in his life in the back rooms, and he finally has this degree of control which he doesn't have in the real world. And then when he kind of turns on his therapist, I really forget her name. Was it Mary? I don't know.
maybe Mary. We're just gonna call her Mary.
Yeah, but when he knocks her out, first of all, that when they got to like his house, kind of in the back rooms, terrified. I was like, this man is clearly not okay. He's out of his mind. When he started like doing weird things, like cutting the misremember people, and like, oh, you can eat them. That was like, okay,
I was like,
you
ew.
actually, oh my god, the anxiety I felt was like peak. I feel like this film was really good at making me feel anxious. I was like thinking like if I was in her position, like what would I be doing? I'm gonna like be trying to do and say anything that can like make sure he doesn't kill me. And then when he got the knife, I was like, oh, bye, girl. I thought she was gone. But that was a really interesting scene. And then when the entity thing comes in, that was terrifying. And then you try to talk to it, and I think the reason my friend told me this, I think I agree. The reason why it attacked him when I guess it let him live before is because he said that he was letting her go, and he didn't like that. The entity thing did not like that, and then bit the fuck out of him.
Why he attacked him all of a sudden.
I think it was because he was letting her go.
He did go run after her after he kind of mingled his other half.
He's dead. Clark is dead, but
Yeah, he mingled. Um, but yeah, but prior to that though, I think the I think the therapist. My God, I was trying to say professional. I don't know, but I think the therapist had a good monologue when she was screaming at Clark.
oh my god, yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah,
I
because
loved it.
I did not leave you because of your aggression, because of your anger, because of your outbursts and stuff like that. It's because you're whiny. And I
Mhm.
was like, ooh,
I loved it. She was like, nothing can ever be your fault, can it? Everything is something else. It's the alcohol. It's this. It's that. You can never take responsibility. I loved it.
I loved it too because it was kind of like it was very annoying to me to watch him devolve into this person that he became in the back rooms because he's over here saying, I don't have to change. And she's like, no, you don't have to change, but you gotta let me go. And stuff
Right.
like that. I'm just like, it's one of those things where I'm just like, he definitely has to change, but also I didn't agree with her monologue at one point when she said, "Oh, she didn't leave because of she didn't leave because of your anger or anything else like that." I think it was a combination of all those things because this man went into a rage whenever he was questioned or something like that. I mean, you saw how mad he got at the therapist when he was role playing with her, when talking about, oh, I pay the bills, I'm the one that's gotta foot the bill whenever you gallivanting around campus, being a lawyer, I gotta pay the bill for that and stuff like that. I'm like, it just sounds like you didn't want to provide.
Well, yeah, but I feel like
Like
that could definitely be an issue in the relationship. But I feel like what she's saying is what caused her to leave. What was like the nail in the coffin was that nothing is ever his fault. He just cannot take responsibility for it. Because if someone's angry and has anger issues, but they're at least able to acknowledge, like, okay, I messed up. That's something a ground of which you can work with. But if you're just gonna flat out deny everything and just complain, you can't work with that. And that's just it ends there.
that's true, but I also think it was a combination of everything. It was that, and then that was, like you said, the nail in the coffin. Like it's like I can't get through to you. Nothing I can say can get through to you. You can't. You're blaming everything but yourself. Because at the end of the day, Clark was a person that didn't want to change. I feel like he only sought out therapy to see how he can get his life back or see how he can get his life back. He didn't seek out therapy to actually use therapy as a tool to help him,
Yeah.
in my
I
opinion.
also feel like she said when she said, "No, you don't have to change." I feel like she was saying that under duress. She was like saying
Yeah,
it.
she was. Yeah, that part she was saying because she was like,
You
just
gonna kill me?
please don't kill me. Just let me go. But the other
Right.
part she was saying because that was true about him,
Mhm.
and he
And she
was very
probably
whiny.
he's
I was
so
like,
whiny. I loved her. I was like, yes, tell this man, please. Oh my god. I don't know. As soon as he got the college kid killed, I was like, okay, I really don't like him.
yeah, I was like, you didn't have to drag the two. First of all, you know something is back there.
He did not
You
tell them
know,
that there was something in
you
there.
know,
He knew.
you might not know what, but you know something is back there, and it's weird that something is back there.
Yes, and because he ran from it. It was a thing. It went into the room he was
Black
in.
he did,
What?
which is the blackest thing he did, running from that.
Yeah, and then he immediately goes back in. But yeah, that was the last thing he did when he ran. I was like, so you're not gonna tell these kids that there's something in there?
Right? And then you're just going to put them headfirst into a danger that you don't know if it's a danger or not. Because, again, you felt anxiety enough to run from it.
Right.
So,
And you know it's chasing you because you can hear its footsteps. Like, so you
exactly.
know it's chasing you, which means it probably wants to kill you or something. So why wouldn't you at least tell these people, hey, yeah, there's something in here, and I ran from it.
Your discussion of vibes almost like,
Yeah, I feel like the only reason he didn't tell them is because he knew that they wouldn't agree. So he was like, he's very selfish that way. So he was like, they won't agree, so I won't tell them if they won't agree. And if I tell them, so
you kind of get a sense of Clark being a selfish individual too.
he is very selfish.
Selfish, he's self centered, he's a little bit of a narcissist, controlling. He doesn't have a lot of good traits.
Did he have any good traits?
No, but he was a very interesting character to watch because I do like the actor that plays him.
Yes, the acting was, and it really worked because it was a very small cast, but it worked very well.
It did. It was only like what? Five?
I think it was 5 people, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that doctor guy.
and then also the therapist's mother was in it for a little bit.
Yes, she was there because the therapist also has a little bit of trauma in her. Not a little bit, a lot of bit of trauma in her because her mother wasn't allowing her, from what we can tell from the bits and pieces we got, she didn't allow her to go outside at all because she was like poor there and stuff like that. I think her mom was mentally ill.
Yeah, she had schizophrenia, I believe.
Yeah, so she wouldn't allow her daughter to play outside or go outside or anything. So she would kind of bar the windows, bar the doors with all the furniture, tape the windows shut, or like tape a newspaper over the windows and stuff. And so she has a lot of trauma. So when you go to the therapist's point of view, you kind of see her watching her childhood home be torn down, because they're building a new sky tower there and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So all the homes pretty much that will cover the area of the sky tower is being dismantled. And she has a piece of something that she got from the house, which was when her mom and her moved into that house. They put their hands down in the cement to kind of mark that this is their home and stuff like that. So you can kind of see on her face that she's kind of um I guess more distant from it, or more like, I don't want to say reminiscing about it, but she's thinking about it heavily because of what's been, because of demolishing the house and stuff like that. So
Yeah, when well, not when Clark when Clark gets got and then she has to run. I remember I was like I couldn't yell at the screen because I'm in the movie theater, but I was like, run faster. Please run faster. Because when she goes into like the stairs area and she like crawls, I'm like, I understand you can fall to your death, but you have to go faster. You just have to go faster. Please go faster. I don't know. I was like, girl, run. Why aren't you running faster? Oh my god. No, but it was good. I liked the scene after Clark is caught and she has to like run through the back rooms. And you can hear the footsteps and you can hear it making its weird noise, and I think that was very, very well done. It reminded me of kind of like we said with the video games in the beginning, where like the entity comes around and you hear it and then everyone starts booking it. Like that's what it reminded me of. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I think the footsteps were the best part because you heard it before you saw it, and not being able to see it was actually the most nerve wracking thing for me. Because even though, personally, for me, I did not find this movie to be scary or as scary as other horror movies that I've seen, it still had some elements of making me anxious. Again, I am a horror movie nut, so there's only been a handful of horror movies that actually really did scare me. And this wasn't one of them, but it still had that anxious feeling where I'm just like, okay, girl, run, like you said, run faster. Go ahead.
When she fell over, I was like, get up,
Why are you crawling? Why
get
are you
up, you
crawling?
gotta run.
Girl. And then when she twisted her ankle, whatever she did, I think she dislocated her knee or whatever.
Yeah, she
I
had her,
don't
she had her. I was like, girl, oh my god, no.
I don't know why, how she even did that. I was like, girl, you pissing me off.
I
Run.
mean, like, at least get up and run with a limp.
You
Please
know?
try.
I mean,
Please.
she tried, but I was just
She
like,
did try. I understand how much pain she probably in. I did like that she fought back though. Like at least she did something. I like that she fought back.
I like that the thing wasn't as like because as big as it was, she still was able to hold it back at least.
I feel like the only reason why she was able to hold it back is that mist was also affecting it.
Yeah, that was taking effect on him because
Because she was passing out because of it, and I think it was passing him out too.
yeah,
I think if it was like even ground, she would have lost. But that mist that was taking them both out,
yeah,
ended up actually helping her because she was able to knock it with that piece of cement. That was terrifying when they were trying to eat her. Though I was like, oh my god. And then she got taken to.
teeth it had like multiple rows of teeth if you look inside its mouth.
Yeah, it was creepy. I did not like the way it looked. And then she goes to the place, right? They ask her a bunch of questions. I still, for some reason, I didn't feel safe. I was like, girl, you can't trust
Yeah,
nobody.
I feel like she was still inside the back rooms, but I think
She was in the back rooms, yeah.
huh?
Yeah, she was still in the back rooms.
Okay.
Their little base thing is inside the back rooms, I do believe.
Oh, okay, yeah. That you're correct. You're correct because they did say that. I like when they met the doctor guy because he is someone that's put throughout the movie, but he doesn't have any speaking lines. He's the one that saw Clark when he entered the back.
No, he speaks.
I mean, he doesn't have his speaking lines until he's interviewing her. He doesn't speak
Yeah.
he's interviewing her. So, he's just placed throughout there until they finally come to a head and meet. But he was the person that first saw Clark when he walked into the back rooms, and he was because they have cameras back there and stuff like that, and they have like almost like it looks like bait traps for whatever entity is back there or whatever they're trying to capture back there.
Yeah, so they're trying to lure the entities out. So they have like the cutouts, and then I actually saw because the audio that's playing out of the cutouts.
Mhm.
I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just random audio, but it's actually, from what I've heard, the audio of what's playing on the Voyager Pro that we sent out. So it's like it's just saying, I think it's hello in a bunch of different languages.
Yeah. And
Um,
or hello, how are you doing? Almost.
yeah, something else like that. That's very, I like that. It's a very interesting tidbit. And that company that used to work on MRI machine, that's part of the lore. I do believe, and they are dedicated to exploring and learning more about backrooms.
Mm-hmm.
I would try. I don't know. My top one fear if I'm running this organization is like, what's stopping these things from leaving?
Yeah, that's I was trying to question because I'm just like for Clark because like when she finally meets the doctor person, he tells her that it's expanding, like it's popping up in more locations. We don't know how to stop it or anything else like that. So my main question was with Clark, he was able to find it because he was able to go through the wall and stuff like that. What's stopping one of the entities from just finding it too for real?
Maybe it's like they don't want to leave. It's just like where they are. Maybe they can't survive outside. I don't know. I'm not like that invested in the lore, so there's probably an answer somewhere out there in the lore, like why they don't leave.
Yeah.
It could be as simple as, well, okay. The way it worked in the movie and the way it works in the lore are two different things. In the lore, you get into the back rooms by no clipping through something, usually the floor. I believe someone told me it's like when your atoms align perfectly and you no clip through something, and that's how you get into the back rooms. In the original film, guy is literally like hanging out with his friends, and he's walking, and he like falls into the back rooms, and he's trapped there unless you no clip again, which you can't do deliberately. So that in the lore, that's why nothing escapes because you just there's no interest in exit. You just have to no clip through something. There is no doorway like there was in the movie, so it's a very interesting change, and I've heard people talking about how there could be a sequel or they want like a sequel or a show. I'm not opposed to that. I'm very curious on how they would expand the universe they've created. So I would totally watch those. Um, but yeah, so that's a place where it differs, and the entity in the backrooms is also different in the lore. It's not like misremember people. I think it's called the life form. It's very when I saw it for the first time, it reminded me of Siren Head a little bit. It's not Siren Head, but it reminds me of Siren Head. Um, only a little bit. It has like a vague resemblance, and I don't know why, but my mind like associates them to like they look similar, like distant cousins. I don't know. Um, but creepy as fuck. They follow you, and it could be that maybe in the Backrooms movie setting, those entities do exist, but these misremembered people are just one of the entities that could exist alongside those because it's a whole universe now. They can do whatever they want. I'm very curious on how they expand
So,
it.
so what I've read about the entities being able to escape, um, apparently they have different sort of roles. This is like on the wiki how and something like that for the backrooms games and whatever.
Hmm.
They said they can't escape because they're they're stuck in that dimensional type of thing. So they're manifestations from that space, so they can't
Okay, yeah.
leave.
So they're part of the Backrooms, kind of
So it's like
basically.
they can't leave, which is interesting.
Very interesting. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Um, one thing I have to say is I didn't really care for the ending. The way it ended, I was like, oh wow, it's over. I don't know. It ended like after the interview. It was just the therapist like being misremembered by the room, and it ends. And I was like, oh, that's it. I don't know. I kind of wanted more. I don't know.
Yeah, it was only an hour and 49 minutes, so it wasn't that long,
Mm,
but I did kind of want more if not for the scary elements, for the exploration elements, because I still would like to know more about the program that the scientists are doing, because I it's just so funny when they sprayed her and then she came out and they said, "Who is this?"
who are you?
Right
How'd you
here,
get here?
and all the questions that they had and stuff like that, and that doctor guy pulling up a picture of Clark and stuff, and basically trying to get some answers out of her and whatever. I just wanted a little bit more in terms of more entities from the back rooms, because from what I can see from the games, there are a lot of things that just attack you. It's not just a Clark made figurine. There's other things that run at you, and I'm like, I would be interested to see this become like almost like a franchise where or like a series. I think a series would do better.
Series would be really cool, but the thing with the games and stuff is it's an open source thing. So people who work on the games are the people who worked on the movies and the YouTube thing. So it's everyone has their own interpretation of the backrooms. That's why the
Mhm.
games are different from the films or different from the YouTube because it's a different interpretation. It's different people. Because it all started on that 4chan thing, which I don't like 4chan, but that's a different story. Um, but yeah, I was okay with just the one entity. I was very curious to see what it was because we don't like to see it for a while. I like that element of mystery with it. It was very it
Yeah,
built
they
up.
did a really good job of concealing this entity, because all I got from it was that it's tall and it runs.
And it
Like,
kills people.
very strong.
Yeah, I like that. I liked it a lot. Not knowing was like it aided in the mystery of the backrooms itself, and it's like the unknown is a scary thing, right? So if you don't know what's chasing you, that's even more scary.
That's what makes a horror movie, because quite frankly, it's always the unknown. That's what people are always scared of, is the unknown. If you don't know how to hurt something, if you don't know what it is, if you don't know where it came from and everything else like that, then you don't know how to fight it. It becomes scary because there's so many unknowns and variables and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Um, one thing not to do exactly with the movie, it's like what's happened in the movie, but a lot of the discourse um around this movie bothers me because people are like it was slow and they don't like it, or um, other reasons for not liking it. And if you don't like the movie, that's a valid opinion. We don't all have to sing "Kumbaya" in agreement with everything. But if you're gonna hate something or not like it, at least have a reason other than it was slow, which it's supposed to be. And I don't like that there wasn't jump scares every 5 seconds because again, like jump scares are one of the cheapest forms of scaring someone, and that is just like not wanting more of those. I feel like
And I feel like for jump scares, for it to actually be effective, you kind of have to do it right.
yeah,
Like,
and there can't be too many of them, or else they're not scary anymore.
sometimes people do the fake out, and the fake out's fine, but when you do like one too many fake outs in the same movie, it's kind of like, okay, like that's not scary. Just like, for example, at the end of Sinister. The movie Sinister is actually a really good horror movie. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's actually a really good horror movie. What kind of cheapens the movie was the jump scares that they had, because it did a good job of being horrific in and of itself. There was a scene in the movie where, so that movie is just about an entity that travels through film and pictures and stuff like that. It's an ancient entity that kind of evolved into going through videos and stuff. But it normally would travel through pictures of like in the past and stuff. So there was a scene in the movie where the main character, he was holding up a picture of the entity towards a bush, and when he put the picture down, the entity was standing right there. And there was another scene in the movie where he had a zoomed up image of the entity on a film, and the entity turned to him and looked at him and looked away. See, things like that, things that are creepy like that, is what makes a horror movie, to me, really good, really enjoyable to watch, make it really horrific, because you're just like, this is a thing that is aware that you're watching it. This is a thing that is aware of your existence. And that's unsettling about it. And if you have these cheap jump scares like they did have in Sinister, because at the end they did a cheap jump scare where like the entity came in front of the camera and just basically did a boo, and I was just like, okay, well, it didn't say boo, but it was supposed to be like a, oh my god. I was just like, oh, okay, that was kind of whack. But it cheapened the movie because they did jump scares like that. Like
Mhm.
that's a cheap shot, and they did it twice. That wasn't the first time they did it. They did it again in another scene prior to that. So I was like, it it, it was just that was just bad. It would have been a 10 out of 10 movie had they not stuff in it. So you have to do jump scares correctly. Not too many, like you said, in a movie, but also in a way that still feels like horrific. Like, for example, in Smile, a good jump scare in Smile to me was when one of the main character's sister, what was perceived to be the sister, walk out and knock on the window, and she looks up, and then the entity breaks the sister's neck to turn around and look at the freaking window. I think that was also a good horror jump scare. That's a good way to
Mhm.
jump scare. So like,
Yeah,
it just has to be creative. Like, guys, you can jump scare me, just be creative about it.
yeah. Also, another thing surrounding the discourse of this movie is I've seen this too many times. People are incapable of having a nuanced opinion on anything nowadays. Pisses me off to no abound. It's either the best thing you've ever seen or the worst thing you've ever seen. There's like no room for anything in between. And I feel like the Backrooms falls somewhere in between there, as do most movies. Most things aren't going to be the best thing or the worst thing you've ever seen. And for people to be like, it's the worst thing I've ever seen. I want to know what you have seen, because I can think about movies even just released this year that are far worse than this movie, like far worse. Okay, this is nowhere near the worst thing I've ever seen. It was good. It was the best thing I've ever seen. No, but it wasn't the worst thing either. And for anyone to argue that it was both, they need to go see more movies. That's what I have to say. Because
Let me
honestly, I just want to know what you have seen in your life to think this is the worst thing or the best thing. Like there is plenty of room in between, but people are for some reason are incapable of acknowledging that, and it annoys me to know. To it just it pisses me off.
I think I think for me the movie was just enjoyable. I just had a fun time watching it. At some point I was just like, because I brought a bear to the movie. Because after watching the movie I did watch the previous night, I was like, well, I'm scared. Like a movie that genuinely scared me to a movie that I had fun watching that still had horror elements in it. This movie kind of feels like, the best way I can describe it is kind of feels like a Halloween movie. You know how
Mhm.
Halloween movies aren't scary? That's what this movie feels like to me. I'm like,
Yeah,
this
but
is
it's
not,
like they're fun
but it's so fun to watch. Like
and
a
it's
Halloween movie,
enjoyable to
fun to watch.
watch.
This is enjoyable to watch. So
Yeah. And
I
it's shot very well. The acting is done so well. It's a good movie, and to have all the elements of a good movie into it, like make up a movie that's just a fun watch is amazing. I love it. And on the other side, this isn't my opinion on the Backrooms, but this can exist. A movie can be fun and also still be a bad movie. Like they're
Yes,
not mutually exclusive.
exactly. Like I don't think people I don't think that people doesn't know that. But I think people kind of don't remember that because it either, like you said, has to be the greatest thing you've ever seen or the worst thing you've ever seen. But I have plenty of bad movies that I thoroughly enjoy.
Yes,
And not because it's bad, because I there's stuff about it that I like. Like for example, The Duff. That movie, mad is really bad. But to me it's a cult classic because I'm just like it's one of those movies that I'm just like it's fun to watch. Like it's so
exactly.
bad, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah, some movies are fun and they're bad, and it's okay to acknowledge that. Some people just can't bring themselves to acknowledge it. I don't understand why, but it's just what people do. And I feel like I say again, a movie can be fun and be good, um, and it can also just fall somewhere in the middle. There can be a middle ground in between bad and good. Things are rarely ever black and white. Okay, I feel like we
Yeah,
can just acknowledge that
people.
as a society and move forward. Another thing about the movie, the set, because I didn't even think about this until after watching the movie. But people were like, how did they shoot that for a set? Right? They built 30,000 square foot set for the movie.
Did this kid have money?
No, um it was an A24 film.
Oh yes, I forgot. It's from the Bates.
Yeah, you know what? A24 usually puts out great movies, so that's why I knew it wasn't gonna be bad because A24 made it.
Yeah, yeah.
A24 is awesome.
Sometimes A24 is hit or miss.
I've never seen a bad A24 movie. Have they always been like
Martial
amazing?
movie,
Which one?
the Shell movie about the shell that's looking for his family.
I haven't seen it, but I bet it isn't bad.
Okay,
They always put out good movies. IMO.
okay.
Like I don't think they're ever trash.
Okay. Anyway,
And you know what? At least they try new things. They experiment.
and I'd give him that because I love Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That's one of the best movies.
That's one of the best movies they
I'm,
ever.
I'm, I'm gonna say that. That's one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. The way it's done,
The movie.
that was a good movie.
It had a correct balance of goofiness, and it had a correct balance of mother daughter their relationship. That was a good movie.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's perfect because it came out before like we all got like multiverse fatigue from mainly
Yeah.
Marvel. Because whenever I hear about multiverses now, I can't stand it. I can't stand it at all. It's annoying.
And it's not Marvel that just does multiverse. I think DC also does.
They both do it, but we can all agree that DC movies aren't good. So I expect better from Marvel.
They're so not good that they had to scrap the entire thing. Like,
which I think is a good thing. I trust James Gunn. Superman was delicious. Not delicious. The fuck.
I don't even know who James Gunn is.
What?
I don't even know who James Gunn is.
He directed Superman. He also directed the Guardians. What?
The new Superman?
Yes, the new one. And he directed Guardians of the Galaxy. All 3 movies he directed. And now he's in charge of making the new DCU.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna like
Supergirl.
Because if he directs it like he does Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy is kind of goofy to me. DC has to be kind of like darker, like more grittier.
Not necessarily, because he showed with Superman, it doesn't have to be dark. It can kind of have that like that feel that Guardians of the Galaxy and that Superman have. It's a whole new reset. So I love that he can do kind of whatever he wants. He's in charge of making it. He's not directing Supergirl, and it's the first movie I believe in the new DCU that James Gunn isn't directing. So we'll see how the future of the DCU goes with how well Supergirl is. I am gonna say right now, I think it's not gonna be as good as Superman, but I do think it won't be bad. So we shall see.
We shall see, because again, I just hold on. Someone's texting me.
And I feel like also with if you saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, it handles being like a fun movie while also being able to be serious, and I think that's what they need. So I have faith. I do. He's a really good director.
That I can say. That I can say because the Guardians of the Galaxy movies is not bad at all. I just feel like for DC movies, I just want something that's not Marvel, and I don't want to get Marvel. At least with the new Superman movie, I didn't get that feel of Marvel, but it still had those elements of a little bit of goofy, which was fine and everything. Good comedic relief and stuff. And I like who they casted as, excuse me, as Superman, because he's fine, just like Henry Cavill was fine. he is fine, whatever. And he did a good job of being Clark Kent and Superman. Like
He
those
did.
are two different people. For the
He gave
first
them
time
different
ever,
voices. I
I
loved it.
understood this is two different people. I don't know how to tell people I'm attracted to Clark Kent but not Superman. Like a type feel. I was just like, yeah, you did a good job. Don't know how you did this for this man, but you did a good job of making him look like two different people. Because all this time, people are just like, how do you not know he just has glasses? No, you know.
Well, actually, in the lore, he does wear hypnotic glasses that make him look different to
And you know
people.
what? That's actually fair because in the lore of Cinderella, she actually the fairy godmother alters her appearance so the stepsisters and stepmother wouldn't recognize her. Because I always wondered why they just did not recognize her, but in the lore, she alters her opinion. So that makes a lot more sense now. Yeah.
Just, I have faith for DCU. I can't wait for Superman, Superwoman, Supergirl.
I
That's
can't wait
what
for Supergirl either. I'm interested to see what they do with her because it's like it's one of those movies where I'm just like I'm scared. Like
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, the trailer, I didn't like it at first, and then I watched it again, and then again. And each time I watch it, it grows on me more and more. So, I think I think it'll be, I don't want to say divisive, but I think it'll be a matter of like subjection. You know what I mean? I think some people will like love it, and some people will just not vibe with it, and that's fair. That's how all art mediums work. Um, so I don't think it's gonna be bad though. I have faith that it won't be bad. And if it is good, then the DCU finally has some faith, and we can stop getting things like that awful Aquaman movie. Um,
That was I feel like that's the movie that made them realize, okay, let's scrap. Like
No, because DC has so much potential, and I would love it.
such good superheroes and villains. Like they have really good superheroes and villains. I forget which one
Yes.
people said that had the best villains. It's not Marvel. It's probably DC. But they say that.
I also can't wait to see Marvel's Avengers Doomsday. I am excited for that. I am so
Can't wait to
it.
see.
I really hope it's good. I really cannot tell. I really hope it's good.
I really cannot wait to see that new Superman movie. I mean, Spider Man. My bad. I
Oh,
can't.
that one comes out this summer. I'm so happy. I know that one's gonna be good. I have faith that one's gonna be
I
good.
feel like because he's suffering, it's gonna be great. How's
That's
it?
what everyone's saying. They were all like, "He's depressed."
Suffering.
I cannot wait. I'm so happy that movie's
Can't wait
coming
to
out.
see him grovel.
That's evil.
Can't wait. I was like, oh, he's suffering. He's upset. He's crying. This is gonna be a good ass movie. And if it's
That's
not,
evil.
you fumbled. Like,
That's evil. You know
listen,
what I can't wait for? I can't wait for the last Spider-Verse movie. Please come faster. Come to us faster.
that's gonna come till I'm 40. Anyway,
Like how Demon Slayer, the last Demon Slayer movie won't come out until we're 40.
you know,
Can they? I don't. I want them to make movies faster.
they animate a lot, so at least they're
They
not.
do, and the animation is really good, so it makes sense.
At least they're not using it. That's all I have to say. At least they're not doing it.
I have multiverse fatigue and I have AI fatigue.
And AI just like became more forefront. Like it just became a thing. Like I mean, it's been a thing for the past few years, but it's just become a thing where people are using it.
People say AI is going to take over everything. I doubt it for one key reason, and it's that if AI does take over everything, then everyone is going to be unemployed. And if everyone's unemployed, everyone's going to be poor. If everyone's poor, no one's going to buy anything. If no one buys anything, the economy collapses, and then the rich people stop making money. And then, so somewhere along those lines, some form of government has to step in and be like, y'all gotta chill on this AI shit. Y'all gotta chill, okay? And when that happens, I know American government doesn't really care about us, but hopefully one day they do. Maybe it'll come down to the local state governments to just be like, stop with this bullshit.
I think they're already doing that too.
They are. They're fighting against data centers, and I know the Oscars said that any film that uses AI in its progress cannot win an Oscar. But you know what? The Oscars also just released a rule saying that the judges have to watch the films before they vote. I guess they weren't doing that before.
My face was like, not doing that before.
So we'll see what happens.
Off of vibes? Hold on, no.
You know what? That explains why Demon Slayer lost to Demon Hunters. So I never understood that.
Listen, don't let the girlies hear you say that because they go get mad.
How did Chaos Demon Hunters win Best Animation? How?
I don't know, because in my most humble opinion, It could have gone to either Demon Slayer or Lost in Starlight. Let's be honest, Lost in Starlight's animation was so pretty. That
But
was
the problem is, it's not as popular.
it's not. But Demon Slayer was. In fact, it was one of the most highest grossing anime movies. It was so good too. It was such a fun watch. That animation was so beautiful.
It was
That
amazing.
voice acting was good. Like, come on. Come on. Like I don't mind K-pop Demon Hunters. I think I said my piece in the K-pop Demon Hunter thing, how much I don't really care for it. It's not my gig. But at the same time, it's just like, even I know and I acknowledge its impact, especially with the kiddos, because it's for kids, but I also can acknowledge that it's not a good movie, and I wish it didn't win the Oscar that it did. I still hear songs everywhere. I heard Golden on the radio last week, and although I do like the music, it's cute and whatever, but at the same time, it did not deserve to win that Oscar, in my most humble opinion. But again, it's one of those movies that's, to me, is not good, not bad. So I just won't watch it again because it's not for me. I probably watch the second one to do a video, but for the most, and I'm curious to see what they do with it, because I'm just like, it just felt like a definitive end. Now they're announcing that they're going to do a second movie. That's gonna be interesting to see. But yeah, so what are your final thoughts on the Backrooms? Because we kind of veered off topic a lot.
We did, and I feel like the one person who was watching this clicked off when we started talking about other things, and that's fine.
That's fun.
That's fair. Yeah, the Backrooms. I walked in expecting what I got, and I like that. I liked how anxious it made me feel. I liked how it captured the just how, like, the Backrooms as a setting is in and of itself unsettling, and I like that they were able to capture that. I loved, first of all, how young the director is. He's 20. That's an amazing thing.
And that's amazing.
That can't be overshadowed. Like, that's just awesome. He's so young and talented, right? And to get into directing so early is amazing. And also, the director of Obsession was like 26, I believe.
No, I'm kidding.
You might want to fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that he was 26. But yeah, like, even the process of filming was cool. Was like cool to learn with the behind the scenes, and to learn, not to learn, but to watch it and see how good the acting was, and see this, like, internet kind of thing.
How he is 26.
26, right? That's so young to get into it, and to make a movie like that at 26, bro.
He was born in 99.
And, like, I feel like we spoke about this earlier, but, I feel like also a key reason why people don't like the Backrooms is a little bit out of jealousy, because, if a 20-year-old can make a movie like that on the big screen, it's like, okay, well, what am I doing, right? And I feel that, like, I do feel that, but I feel like that shouldn't stop you from enjoying the movie. If anything, it should give you a drive to do what you want to do, right? Like, if you feel any wave of jealous, which I understand, I kind of feel that too. I was like, oh, he's like my age and he's doing all this. What am I doing with my life? And then I realized, it's like, okay, that's true. So that means I have to work that much harder. I have to try that much harder, and I have to, apply myself even more so that I can achieve the dreams I want to achieve. Because if you don't work for it, nothing's gonna happen. This, while yes, it was like kind of sad in me, like, oh, well, I'm a failure. No, you're not a failure. I'm not a failure. No one's a failure. This is just showing that that dream that you have is possible, and we can get there. So I don't feel like you should let jealousy make you not like the film. And it's just, again, like, it's awesome that people are getting into directing this young, and paving the way for more people to get into directing, getting into film at a younger age, and opening doors that are previously closed. That's an awesome, amazing thing.
I also wanted to add that, what is it? Let me research my memory. Oh, I was gonna say that not everyone's journey is the same. It's all non-linear. And it's all different because we're all different people. Just because this person is directing at 20, that doesn't mean you can't direct at 22. Doesn't matter how young a person is doing something, how young a person is as they're doing something, because at the end of the day, your journey is going to be different from theirs. So, quite frankly, if you really, nowadays with social media, with the age of social media, it's really, I don't want to say it's easy, but it's a lot easier to do things versus when it was back then.
Mhm.
So you have a lot more advantages at your disposal. And if directing is something that you want to do, I'd say hop to it. Get some friends together and be like, "Hey, yo, let's do a little short story. Let's do something like that. Like, do something in order to get yourself in your name out there. You can do it.
Exactly.
I have faith in you and believe in you. But just remember that not everyone's journey is going to be yours. Some people buy a house at 20. Some people buy a house at 30. Some people never buy a house. Some people own an apartment for the rest of their lives.
Exactly.
It's just the path that people take, and it depends on what you really want. If there's something that you really want to do, I'm not saying that there's not other outside obligations that's stopping you from doing it. I'm just saying that you should still do things in your life to help you work towards getting that thing despite the outside obligations. Doesn't mean you have to get it right now, but you might get your first thing when you're in your 30s, or you might get your first thing in your mid 20s, or even if you're like a teenager, you might get your first thing at like maybe 17. You never really know what path life will take you, especially when you take the leaps that you can, especially with this new age of social media. Or like, oh my gosh, like beforehand people had to grind to get even a modicum of praise or of recognition of anything. Like, I remember when people used to pass out the mixtape. Mind you, I'm not that old, but I do remember seeing people pass out their mixtapes, perform in malls and stuff like that. Like, it was crazy. So
Yeah.
you guys don't have to do that no more.
Yeah, it's like comparison is the thief of joy.
Right?
Do not like, I know it's hard because I do it all the time. We all do it, but like, comparing yourself to, or your journey or your life or anything to someone else's, like, just don't do that. And I had to stop myself from doing that too, because I would make something, I would make a film, I would make a drawing, and I would look at it online and be like, oh, well, this sucks. And it's like, okay, is it great? No, but it's not awful. And there are going to be things that are better than it. There are things that are worse than it. You have to appreciate what you do and just focus on yourself and bettering yourself. Like, what other people do, don't focus on that. And also, remember, social media, everything's a lie. Okay, people are lying to you every day.
Yeah.
Don't compare yourself to those people. They're liars.
But yeah, those are our notes and our words of inspiration to you guys. I hope that you take them and you run with them and you do the things that you want to do now. I know I have to do the things I have to do now, like record that video that I have to record.
Which video?
The anime.
You've been saying that for a month.
Listen, I've been saying that for like a week, 2 weeks. I'd appreciate it if you just give me some great.
You have until Juneteenth. You have until.
Wow, you just gave me a deadline. That's crazy.
I did, and you know what? If you don't have it done by Juneteenth, that means that you don't like this. That means that you're not honoring Juneteenth. Then you're free.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. The stakes are high. The stakes are high.
All right. Well,
yeah. The stakes are high. But you know what? If you don't take any of our advice, at least take this. Remember to eat your dinner and get your sleep, because those are important, and you will die if you don't. Or at least not be healthy. And we have to be healthy, okay? You want great skin, great eyelashes. I don't know, great feeling in your gut, because you know what, vegetables are good for you.
Gut health is important.
I know it's important. I know, I'm a college student. I've learned the hard way. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I hope you enjoyed our tangents. If you somehow made it this far, that's kind of what we do. So if you like that kind of thing, I don't know, maybe stick around. Do we rank it? Do we have to rank it right now?
Yes. What would you rank the movie?
I think almost masterpiece.
Okay. I could drive with that. Almost masterpiece. Yep. It was an enjoyable watch.
It was enjoyable, and I feel like I would love it that much more if only a few things have been tweaked, but it's a really good movie. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, well, now we spoiled everything for you, so I would hope you stopped watching. But yeah, go watch it.
Yeah, go watch the movie.
I feel like the movie isn't for everyone. I can see people like not understanding a lot of things, and that's fair. This movie is what I've seen people online saying, like, and I agree. It's that kind of movie that requires you to pay attention. You can't be like not watching or paying attention. You can't like be dozing off in the theater or whatever and expect to understand it. Like, I feel like some movies are kind of like are like the kind of movie that you can like not pay attention to and still understand it. It's not one of those movies. But yeah, I'm gonna put it in almost masterpiece. Yeah, for context, the top tier is God tier. Then below that is almost masterpiece. In the middle is not good, not bad. At the second to last is watchable, and then at the bottom of the barrel is the worst thing I ever saw. Yeah, those are different movies that should never be made. But I think that's all we have to say. If you enjoyed seeing our faces, if not, be nice about it. And remember to eat your dinner, and then eat. That wasn't right. That wasn't grammatically correct. Remember to. Oh, eat your dinner is grammatically correct. What am I talking about? because you can eat dinner.
You good, bro? I'm so confused that you did a brain fart right there.
No, I had a fucking brain aneurysm. I thought I said eat your sleep for some reason, and I was so confused when dinner didn't sound like sleep, but I thought I said sleep. So I was like, wait, dinner and sleep are something the same, but I thought I said something else. It made my brain had like lost connection for a little bit.
Anyway, Mars is gonna remind you to eat your dinner and get your sleep.
Yes, eat your dinner, get your sleep. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.